and Julian are here. Before we begin, of course, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us again today for our much awaited monthly AMA for March. I think everyone's got a lot of questions and the community is buzzing. And it's been quite a while since we've done this, and so many developments have been happening in the background. So, without further ado, let me introduce Julian Kwan, InvestX and IXSwap CEO and co founder. Joining us today as well is co-founder of IXSwap, Aaron Ong. So yeah, gentlemen, if you could please start with a few words for the community.
Aaron, you want to go first?
Hey guys, it's been a while. Lots of activity going on at IXS. I think you guys have seen the newsletter that Gene had put out of all the activities that we've done last month, the Bitmart listing and launching the OTP as well. Lots more coming down the line. I think later in the call as well, we'll share a little bit of the roadmap as well along the listings and the upgrades that we are bringing to the platform, along with some of the deals as well that are coming to the launchpad. But yeah, I'll just keep it at that for now. And I'll let Jules take it from here.
Yeah, hey everyone, thanks for joining. I think we're recording this for all the people around the world that can't necessarily make it exactly at this time. It's 7 o'clock here in Singapore. I think I was on the last AMA. There's definitely been a lot of activity since then. I guess a few high-level things. I think if you're not in meme coins, you're suffering a bit of lack of attention disorder. There's certainly been a lot of crazy stuff going on that side of the industry. Bitcoin is pumping. The ETFs are consistently dropping $500 million or more into Bitcoin every day, at least the trading days. So that's all very bullish. I think we're now at all-time highs. Not even so much noise about it. So it's a really interesting time we've never been at before, where we've got a lot of institutions now driving the buying. The last couple of cycles, it was all retail. There wasn't any institutions, at least nothing like what we have today. And I think ultimately that's very bullish for decent altcoin projects because the money flows Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and then into the altcoins. It's even flowed probably a lot faster than what some people were kind of predicting. But in terms of RWA space, I think there's a lot of people out there building. We've got another transition period in my mind. We've gone from like all these security tokens that were fairly boring products, not super interesting by any standards. A bunch of platforms that were building on sort of private chains and kind of doing their own thing. And then last year we saw a lot more real-world asset tokens being issued on public blockchains, which was good. You had to buy them with crypto. You saw a lot of the TradFi guys starting to launch their products again. That's just for themselves, so it's kind of good. It's good to see them moving into space because eventually they start to look for alternatives and private market assets, and that's a big opportunity. It's a much bigger opportunity than what they're doing right now, which is tokenizing treasuries and money market funds, which is bringing them more efficiencies, but it's certainly bringing their organizations into the space. In terms of the RWA, a lot of misconception in the market that the RWAs are just these treasuries and these money market funds, these financial instruments, because in the last 12 months they took most of the limelight. There's a couple of important things about that. I mean, first of all, I think it's very valuable products, but I still consider them in brackets very boring. I don't think they appeal to any of the IXSwap community, which is probably why you haven't seen any tokenized treasuries launched, and you probably never will. Maybe you will. I know, never say never. But what happened when crypto market starts to run again and like people are not interested in 5% yields, they're interested in 5% a day in crypto. And then there's a lot of other super exciting lending products out there, protocols offering crazy percentages. I think Aaron sent me, you can put USDT on Binance at 26% APY, essentially cash. So that's pretty interesting. It also shows the demand for that for the assets because the crypto markets sort of move in bullish. But what that means though is that we've been hard at work looking for really exciting products, and I think now we're finally got some products that are really appealing to the community. We are real world asset tokens, but we've got these new on-chain tokenized portfolios, which allow all the investors with minimums of $1 to buy into to invest alongside their favorite influencers and KOLs. So and then buy and sell and then trade these assets on IXSwap. So I think they're going to be really exciting pools, and I expect them to do like really, really well from a return perspective. Just standalone, I think they'll do well. But the last couple of pools that we put on IXSwap, we've seen multiple times the value in the trading of the asset. So the Tau token and the IX8 token went 10, 15x the last valuations, just because people were excited. There was smallish pools, a whole bunch of new investors came to the platform. So yeah, we're really excited by the OTPs. We've got some more KOL, like the key opinion leaders, what they call them, lined up to launch more of these, which is really interesting for the community, because whenever the KOLs are shilling their bags online, they've already made the trade, right? So you're always behind the eight ball, even if you want to follow them. And a lot of them do very well, at least in the short term. So now you can invest in the same deals and get access to the private sales and all the things like, I think the average public sale is 10 to 20x the price of the seed round of the private sale. So it's literally 10 times better, 20 times better. So anyway, that product's focusing on GameFi, but there's more thematics coming down the line. We're going to do some AI focus, some DePIN focused, other areas of crypto. I mean, maybe some BTC layer 2 type thematics. And then we also have some venture capital firms that want to launch these tokenized, these OTP structures, because they're faster, cheaper, better. We're taking the timeline that it took you, months, if not years, to set up a VC fund, raise the money, and then everyone sits around for 10 or 15 years trying to get out. And now we're putting all this together in literally the space of a couple of days. And then once it's funded, people can trade. So it's truly game-changing stuff. But I think the asset is, because it's investing back into digital asset industry, is very interesting. I think the returns are very, very high. And again, like with a one-step, two-step KYC and just photo only, like everyone can buy with $1 USDT, which is fascinating. That's really delivering value. The rest of the we're doing some research on this now, but the rest of the RWA platforms, they do not allow all investors. They only allow institutional and accredited. So a lot of the degens out there that are pumping all these bags for other RWA protocols, they're wasting their time. They're not allowed to use the platforms. The platforms don't allow retail investors. There's nothing you can do with that token then, and therefore, I don't understand. I don't understand why they would even be excited. But it shows that still early on the industry, still a bunch of people fairly confused, but we're about to bring out about 10 use cases for the IXS token that's going to blow away all the other products in the market. But everything apart from that, it's super activity super high. We've got digital asset summits in London next week. We've got Token 1209 in Dubai. We've got Philippines trip coming up, Hong Kong, all kinds of stuff. So Bangkok, there's RWA events there as well. So lots of exciting stuff. Back to you, Gene.
All right, thanks for that, Julian. Yeah, I think that's mostly it for the general updates within the market and IXS. Perhaps, Aaron, should we start with the questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. So the first question being is, so a lot of people have been super interested in what these OTPs are, or on-chain tokenized portfolios. And first one being Coach K's GameFi portfolio. So it just makes sense that our first question is, how much interest is there in the Coach K fund so far?
As of now, I see about $350,000 in interest for the Coach K fund, and we still have a lot of people that are still signing up. There's a whole list of private investors that we've been targeting for the fund itself. All of them are going through the KYC process now, so we're seeing about 5 to 10 new profiles coming into IXS every day now, and these are real investors that are actually investing into the deals itself. So we're seeing actually pretty good traction for the Coach K fund so far.
Cool. Again, adding to that, if you guys haven't yet, our ROI phase for Coach K, Coach K's GameFi portfolio is live. So if you want to reserve yourself some allocation, you may do so now on the IXS app, and make sure you do that before a pre-sale comes live, or else you risk the chance of being left behind for the public sale. All right, jumping into question number two is, if the deadline for the raise passes, will the Coach K fund go live, or will we extend the deadline again?
I think once the soft cap is hit for this, we're going to go live straight away. Given that we're actually quite close to the soft cap already, just based on committed funds, we I don't see the need to extend this deal at all.
All right, and then I guess jumping into question three here is, will the Coach K fund be tradable on the IXS DEX?
Uh, yes, definitely. So I think something for the community that we are actually implementing for all our new raises and any launchpad deals that come to the platform. We are actually mandating that, well, subsequent raises after the Coach K1, is that 1% of each of these launchpad deals or funds is actually going towards the IXS holders as well. And on top of that, each launchpad deal or OTP type of deal is required to set up a liquidity pool on the platform. So every single deal will have at least a small liquidity pool that's tradable on IXS going forward.
Great. So for anyone that's interested in trying to diversify their portfolio, increase their holdings, you can do so now with our pools coming live on the IXS DEX. And I guess question number four is more for me. What are our current marketing efforts? I think it's been an interesting ride so far. I think we can say that traction has been getting strong. And I think we can pinpoint it to last year when IXS sponsored the STO Summit in Korea. There's just been a great influx of other RWA protocols that are super interested in IXS and what we do and basically the innovations that we've been making. And it's all because, it goes back to the narrative that IXS, as much would not believe it, is platform or protocol agnostic. So it just would make more sense that as this RWA train continues to uptrend, we'll see more and more of these new players trying to work with IXS. And with that being said, with our current marketing efforts, we're seeing more inbound inquiries. We're getting around 2 to 3 per week. I was just talking to James from our onboarding team, and from the retail side, we're getting about 7 KYC submissions so far per day. And another interesting thing is with our newsletter subscriptions, we've actually just had about 230 people just sign up to the IXS newsletter just in the span of 3 weeks. So with that being said, I think our current marketing efforts prior were more on education based, and that will continue to be the case. But now that we're seeing much more of an interest and within the RWA realm with IX Swap and more on the, as we release more products that are something of interest to more of these retail traders, we'll start focusing more and more aggressive marketing campaigns, creating campaigns that really force these new users to come check out the platform, sign up, and participate in these offerings that we'll be having so far. So to sum it all up, our current marketing efforts will get more aggressive as we go along, and you guys will see this. So if you haven't subscribed to the IXS newsletter, you should do so now, where we'll release more and more information about what these new marketing campaigns would look like. So stay tuned, guys. All right, I think that was quite a mouthful. So moving into question number five. When is the staking program coming, and what can we expect?
You want to take this, Jules, or you want me to do it?
Go for it.
Yeah. So with the new staking program that's coming out, we're currently looking at around May to launch this program. But I think it's going to be very different from what you're seeing from other protocols. The other protocols, you stake and then you get the same token back. I think Julian had mentioned in the previous AMA that we are actually going to be airdropping tokens from other RWA launches on IXS. So I had mentioned just before this that we are going to be taking 1% of every single raise that comes into the launchpad, all through the OTPs. And these tokens that we are actually collecting are actually going to be, these are going to be the staking airdrops that are going to be received by anyone that stakes a proportion of IXS token on the platform. So this is, I guess, it gives you a lot of access, it gives you more exposure to a lot more of the RWA assets that we're launching on IXS. And I guess at the same time, it really, I guess, decreases sell pressure for IXS at the same time. So I guess it's a win-win for both sides right now for the new staking program that we're launching. And the big problem with a lot of the staking programs that I see, or well, even what we did in the past, is that we're basically just issuing out our own tokens and people just dump it in the market, and it's not really something that we want to continue doing. Which is why we came up with this different idea to airdrop the launchpad tokens and OTP tokens to the users instead.
Great, thanks for that insight, Aaron. Jumping into question 6 here. Can you explain about how we benefit from the partnership with Plume?
Well, I think first of all, the initial sort of benefit that the partnership that we have with Plume is really more of a community focus and education. So we're going to be doing a lot of sort of co-marketing events together with Plume. And then I guess down the line we are exploring their tech right now, but there's no confirmation from us whether we would be integrating with them. But it does look like Plume has been getting a lot of attention from all the RWA protocols. They seem to have partnered with almost every single one in the network. But for now, it's mainly just a marketing sort of partnership with them, and we'll look to expand that, I guess, down the road.
Yep, and just adding to that, I want to say this goes in line with our marketing efforts to cement more partnerships, just mainly because IXS really wants to help further the narrative of a giant RWA ecosystem and being a real player in that space, and really just taking advantage of the fact that, you know, we were one of the first people here and we have a live platform, real products, and we're definitely regulatory compliant. So that's some of the things that we want to add into the RWA ecosystem. And I guess we can jump into question 7, being what's the status on the K content listings?
A lot of the Korean groups are still undergoing DD with the platform. A lot of them are still deciding on which asset they want to list, which K content they want to. They're deciding to tokenize. So it's been rather slow, I would say, on the K-pop and K entertainment type of deals, which is why we've been pushing the OTP Coach K deals over the last couple of weeks a lot harder. And true enough, I guess the traction in the Coach K deal has been quite strong. We've been getting a lot of attention on all these OTP sort of structures. We've been getting inbound inquiries from VCs and funds whether they could restructure some of their funds into these OTPs instead. So I think for now that has been, I guess, the right choice to move along with the OTP product instead of the Korean products. But that's it. The Korean products are still in the pipeline, and when they are ready, we will launch them on IXS.
Awesome. Thanks for that update, Aaron. Jumping into question 8 here. Have there been any more fruitful discussions with Coinbase and Uniswap?
Jules, I'll let you take this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we are having discussions with both those groups. Uniswap has V4 launch, so they're super busy. Certainly some impressive new features and functions down there. Nothing to report back on that specifically. Coinbase, quite a few different discussions in play there. So Coinbase Asset Management is launching Project Diamond, which is a kind of an RWA platform out of Abu Dhabi. It's gone in the sandbox. If you look at the actual design of Project Diamond, I think you can find it online. There's a YouTube video of the demo. It actually looks very similar to the UX UI of IXSwap, which is fantastic. I mean, it shows they've put a lot of money and a lot of thought into it. So it's token to token, and again, that was the design that we put into IXSwap already a couple of years ago. But yeah, Coinbase Asset Management is very bullish on RWA. There's also a couple of crypto exchanges. There's a lot of people now who want to look at distributing RWA to their audience, but they don't actually. They need licensed partners like ours. So yeah, and a lot of people are interested in the AMM model and how it can and how they can get access to these assets and sell more assets to their users. So it's the same from a whenever there's a lot of users behind any kind of platform, whether it's a bank or a fintech, they're always trying to find new things to sell them. So yeah, some work to be done there. I think we need to really focus on our own products on our own platform and really build that up. And then we've got some new partnerships that we're discussing right now with bigger pools of investors and bigger pools of asset owners. So there's a lot going on there. So and I think we're also looking at building out on base probably a bit later in the year. I think that's definitely something that's going to happen at some point.
All right, thanks for that, Julian. And I think we're finally boiling down to the last question for this AMA. So for the last question for tonight is, are we still listing on a Philippines exchange this month?
Well, I never recall saying it was going to be this month. I don't think that's written down anywhere because I've never even said it. But it's definitely our target next jurisdiction. The exchanges are always difficult to deal with, and in bull markets they become extremely difficult. So the listing fees have skyrocketed. The intention spans are short. Definitely Philippines, key focus. We know they're big on RWA, so we don't have a date for that yet, but it's certainly the next target sex listing country.
All right, I think we've covered most of our questions for this month's AMA. I think if there's anything else that you guys would like to say to the community, I think now would be the perfect time also to keep them locked in.
Sorry, what was that?
Yep, I think that's the last question for tonight. So if you guys have any final words that
Ah,
you want to say to the community, yeah.
final words. No, for those that have been here since the beginning, thank you for the support. We continue on same similar roadmaps. We haven't stopped for a day. You'll see it'll start to come out in the next six months, I think, the difference between the RWA platforms that are actually serving the community and able to buy and sell and trade, and there's very few out there. So we think that the tide will go out and it'll be clear who's still got their swimmers on. We're still looking to work with as many RWA platforms as possible. Like IXSwap was always built as an AMM, a market maker for any asset. So we're still the mission is to get as many new partnerships going as well and get more assets onto the platform. It's been disappointing, which also shows that a lot of the RWA platforms don't actually have anything. When we reach out to them and say, well, you're all looking for liquidity, we've got the solution, plug in, and then nothing plugs in. So a lot of people dancing around out there with no licenses. Some don't necessarily need them, but it depends how they're doing a particular offer or what is the exact offer. So still got some work to do, but I think RWA will be one of the narratives that goes strong again this year. And at the end of the day, it won't be RWA is not going to be like NFTs or even meme coins or anything else that goes up in a bull run and disappears in the bear market. So because of the nature of underlying real assets, yeah. So we're excited. Lots of things in the pipeline, and we're going to start to launch some really exciting marketing initiatives that Gene's been running with the team. So stay tuned for them. They'll coming out tomorrow, isn't it, Gene?
Yeah. So
Cool.
stay tuned because our logo is coming live.
Awesome. That's
All
it.
right.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thank you guys for coming in tonight for a monthly AMA. Stay tuned for latest updates coming out. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, I suggest you do so you don't miss out on anything on IXSwap. With that being said, thanks, guys. It's been great.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Gene. Awesome.
Thanks, Gene. Thanks, everyone.